I'm Matt Templeton.
And I'm Kristen Nutter.
And this is Dallas Home Guide,
where we talk about beautiful neighborhoods, gorgeous homes, and give you a play-by-play of how the process works. Okay, Matt, so where are we right now?
We're in the Lakewood Whole Foods, Lakewood, Dallas.
One of my favorite places. So we're talking about Lakewood today, the Lakewood Neighborhood, as one of my favorite neighborhoods in Dallas. And I spent 6 years here, living in the area. I would walk to this Whole Foods. I always describe this Whole Foods as like the mecca of Lakewood. It's a gathering place for everybody. The best thing about Whole Foods, in my opinion, is the sushi. First of all, the sushi is deliciously fresh. I don't know where they source their ingredients from, but it tastes day of fresh. But they also have these wasabi packets that are different than the regular pasty wasabi, and then this fresh ginger is delicious. So if you want great sushi, Whole Foods is where it's at.
We have a lot of friends that live in East Dallas, and Lakewood's kind of the epicenter of East Dallas. And if you think about what makes neighborhoods hot or makes them where they develop, one of the things that creates demand is boundary lines. And one of the things that Lakewood has going for it is that it's got the natural boundary line of White Rock Lake. Mm-hmm. So because you can't grow to the east, everything from White Rock Lake this way, the things closest to White Rock Lake are the most valuable, because you've got that natural boundary line. And so whenever you've got an area, like DFW in general can kind of grow in every direction, but specific neighborhoods sometimes are bounded either by other neighborhoods or by commercial districts or by natural boundaries like lakes. And that just makes for a natural way of things becoming more valuable. All right, let's go see Lakewood. This is Jaram's Donuts, artisan donuts that are amazing. And one of the things that people know, like if you talk donuts and you're like, hey, I'm in Lakewood, I want to go get a donut, or I'm in East Dallas, I want to get a donut, people drive far and wide to go to Jaram's. So we're gonna go explore a little bit.
Delicioso.
Hi there, how are you? So right now behind me is Abrams Boulevard. Abrams is one of the major thoroughfares in East Dallas. And behind us was Jaram's Donuts, where we just came from. We got several great donuts there. And behind you is Whole Foods, where we toured. And so in East Dallas, Abrams is one of those thoroughfares. Jaram's Donuts is at Abrams and Richmond. So this Abrams area is right where the Whole Foods is as well. And the donuts that we got at Jaram's, I'll show you, I just got a couple. They have so many interesting ones. I got a maple and bacon. Of course, I had to get just the standard blueberry cake. If you're like me, you love blueberry cake. This is a cream cheese, like a fruit tart, and then this is the creme brulee one. Anyway, we're gonna enjoy our donuts and drive through Lakewood and show you the rest of the homes. Several of the streets that we're gonna look at today have very nice homes, anywhere from $2 to $10 million. And many of them are actually, some of them are even under construction. Like you'll see them pouring concrete, putting up frames, and it's similar to some of Dallas's other elite neighborhoods where there's always construction going on, and there's even houses being torn down that maybe you would say, I would live in that, that's a great house. One of the things that you may not know about Dallas is that the land values have really gone up, because to live in an urban environment means that you want to live close to downtown, close to nightlife, close to things that are happening, or close to the lake in the sense of Lakewood near White Rock Lake. And when you've got those sorts of demands, land prices go up. So in Lakewood, I remember a few years ago when land prices were as low as $500,000 or $600,000 for a nice lot. Now we're seeing them go $800,000, $900,000, $1 million for a lot, and then they're getting torn down, so that's a tear down price, and putting another $1 million or $2 million into building something to have a nice home on top of it. We have a lot of friends and clients that live in Lakewood, and it's a great area to live. The other beautiful thing that we love about Lakewood is how the topography works. There's creeks, there's rolling hills, there's trees on these hills, and so you get sort of feeling like you're in a different town than what Dallas would you normally experience. Most of Dallas feels a little flat, and I'm from New Mexico. I really like my mountains. Sometimes I feel like the mountains are calling, and I have to drive into East Dallas, in specifically the neighborhoods around White Rock Lake, like Lakewood, so that I can experience the rolling hills and the feel of some sort of topography. So we've been featuring some of the things in Lakewood. We've shown you some pictures of houses, what it looks like. And Lakewood's part of a bigger area which we call East Dallas. And East Dallas is definitely our favorite area to work. We sell a lot of homes in East Dallas. And there's a lot of different neighborhoods. We've mentioned a few of them, whether it's the M Streets, Lower Greenville, Wilshire Heights, Hollywood, Santa Monica, Lakewood Heights, Mockingbird. There's lots of pockets in East Dallas that are great to live in. Is this where you used to live?
No, that is where I used to live.
Ooh.
Only it was torn down and turned into these two lots right
Oh,
here.
sad.
No, I lived in a little back house to an old home.
Dallas kind of is also known as the big metroplex, right? Dallas-Fort Worth, which is two big cities and a bunch of other small suburbs around it. I think there's like 70 suburbs. But when we talk about East Dallas, we're really talking about in the Dallas city limits, east of downtown, east of Highland Park, and in the east part west of White Rock Lake. So neighborhoods around White Rock Lake, East Dallas is kind of that area. Because a lot of the areas of Dallas have been built up long ago, and we're driving through neighborhoods that are from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, the houses are often being torn down if they're in bad shape, or even if they're just obsolescent. Obsolescence is a technical real estate term that just means no longer useful to the modern person. So if something is economically obsolescent, it means that it doesn't have it's too expensive to fix. If something is practically obsolescent, it means that it doesn't have the floor plan or the features or the way of using the house in a way that the new homeowner or the homeowners of today want to use. So a lot of the homes in these areas are beautiful, or they're on great lots, but they're obsolescent to the buyer of today. So they're getting torn down and they're getting replaced. So when we think about new builds in Dallas, if we're either talking about one of two things. We're either talking about outside of the Dallas city limits in areas that have never been developed, like farmland, or maybe a few pockets of land that maybe could fit 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 homes. There's a little bit of new builds up there, and there's infill builders that will take on those sorts of lots. But the majority of new builds we're actually seeing are either tear downs or lots where the houses have burned down or been destroyed and they're being scraped and then built on. So that's what we call infill building. It's not like a big community, like a master plan community where you're gonna have 400 homes. Those all exist in the suburbs. Dallas has been long developed, and so you get new builds that are infill or single lot type buildings. Many of those are usually custom builds. Sometimes the builders in a really great economy will do what's called spec building. They'll build it to a certain point and then they'll let the owner do the finish outs. Or sometimes they'll build it all the way where they don't even let the owner do the finish outs and it's completely ready, it's a new build. But that's a big risk for builders. So unless they've already got a buyer in mind or they know that an area is really selling hot, you won't necessarily see builders do full-on builds. They might just hold a piece of land, or they might have a desire to build, but they're waiting for the right buyer to come along. That's what you're gonna see a lot in East Dallas. Not a lot of communities, not a lot of new builds, unless you're seeing the builder doing custom homes or a spec build on a single lot. Now, I always joke, in Dallas's nicest neighborhoods, there must have been an amazing gas lamp salesman, because every great house that's worth at least $1 million, maybe $2 million or more, has to have gas lamps. That's just a written rule in Dallas. And I think it's because Dallas really wants to be like a northeastern city, like to have ivy growing on the brick and have gas lamps out in the front. And so you'll see throughout Lakewood, throughout Highland Park, throughout Preston Hollow, gas lamps. They've plumbed the gas straight to the front lamps. And one of these days in my tutor, I'm going to plumb gas to them as well, because I just think
You want to fit in.
you got to fit in. You know, that's a Dallas.
It's part of it.
That's part of living in Dallas. You got to try to fit in. Another thing that Dallas has going for it, and this time of year, which we're filming in the summer, is crepe myrtles. Dallas is like crepe myrtle city. Like one of the old things they used to do in these old cities is in the right of ways. So in between the sidewalk and the street, some of these neighborhoods, my neighborhood included, has 10, 15, 20 feet of right-of-way. So you get such a big section of grass, and then what they would do is put the crepe myrtles in that center section. So it would create kind of like a pink canopy during the summers. And crepe myrtles will bloom continuously during the hot times. So as we're driving through Lakewood, I keep seeing tons of magnolias for sure, and then white crepe myrtles, pink crepe myrtles, light pink crepe myrtles, purple crepe myrtles. Oh, there we go. White Raquel House, yeah.
You got your Ace Hardware.
Dallas staple, Tom Thumb.
If you don't go to Whole Foods, you'll go to Tom Thumb. Classic. And you got PetSmart, because everybody in Lakewood has a pet and everybody loves their pets. There's also a great vet around the corner.
Yeah, Cane Rosso for sure. It's good pizza. Go to. So Roybals is one of my favorite nurseries. There's a number of locations around Dallas, and they've got great plants, really great prices. I generally pick up my stuff all throughout February, March, April, May, and Roybals in Lakewood is definitely the spot to get stuff if you're an East Dallasite. Ta-da! All right, so this is the Lakewood YMCA, and the Y is definitely a very popular spot for East Dallasites to hang out. Lots of great workout, tons of great community, and a great pool.
You have Zealot Pizza,
Dallas
which is the best
pizza staple.
Dallas pizza staple, so delicious. And then you have the Goat, which is an amazing dive bar, pool table, hazy, smoky environment. It's fantastic. If you're looking for a dive bar, the Goat is the GOAT. Yeah. Driving in Lakewood, running around like a couple of crazy people. Ruth's Juices, Yogurtland, Liberty Burger is delicious. I really like Liberty Burger. And this spot right here.
Lakewood Theater with the
Lakewood.
Balcony Club. Also now called the Bowling Alley.
Bowling Alley.
The Double Dave's Bowling? Is that what it's called? No,
No, Double
the
Dave's
pizza.
is pizza, and then the Balcony Club.
And then the really hot jaunt,
Mi
Cocina.
Cocina. Woo, ooh, the
Obviously-
best margaritas.
So right now we're in Mi Cocina, and Mi Cocina is the Dallas Tex-Mex staple. And the thing that people love about Mi Cocina is definitely the Tex-Mex, which Texans like their Tex-Mex. But it's actually the Mambo Taxi, which is their signature margarita. It's frozen margarita with a sangria swirl on the outside. So we're here, and we're gonna make sure that we
I want to
taste
show you.
the
We wish we
Mambo
could
Taxi.
give you flavors through the screen.
So you've probably seen one of our counterparts, Andrew, my brother. Andrew, for the longest time, used to do taco videos, and he would go look at all the different like tacos around town and like compare them and rate them. So if you go through the archives, probably not on this YouTube channel, but on some other social media platforms, you can find Andrew Templeton taco videos. But I think we need to go around and eat Tex-Mex and rate the tortilla chips.
I would love to become a realtor food critic.
I
I'm already
already
kind
am
of
a
a
realtor
movie
food
critic.
critic.
Oh boy, here it is, moment of truth. Wow. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It's beautiful. You can have that one. We should not finish this.
Yeah, we should not finish it. See,
So
we can
how
have
old
some.
are you?
21.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, producer. What do you think?
Good.
Yep, delicious.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, on the road again, going places that I've never been. I can't wait to get on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Woo, woo,
Through Lakewood, in East Dallas, we're seeing lots of places where you might want to live in Dallas' best neighborhoods. On the road again, here we go.
Wow. Matthew.
Something like that.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it was definitely improv. It was definitely improv. I've been learning from
improv.
you, you know.
Thank you.
Like, I'm just trying to be more.
We have yet to get into